Here we go again. We're good. We're good now. I cannot figure out why, for the life of me, why it does that. Usually, it just like it's default and it's fine. I have a default audio. Something's up with the I don't know, the software or something. No idea. We'll get that figured out. But what's up, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad. The stock market is crazy and chaotic, and I made my mission to help you guys own it. If somebody could help me own the audio and the video here, that would be great. I just need like a producer. I need a live stream producer. Apply within. The pay scale is $0. If you'd like to volunteer and run my board, that would be great. But what's up, everybody? So unbelievable. Today is August 1st, 2022. It is just unbelievable to see that we are in August already. I mean, summer is 2/3 of the way over. It's pretty wild to see just how quickly the summer has flown by. I just can't believe that it's August already. But we got a lot of things to cover today. We got earnings, we got Pinterest, Devon Energy, we also have Activision, as well as Simon Property Group. Simon Property Group is actually I see you, Mike Hudson. I see you. So we have those earnings to cover. Plus, I wanted to kind of discuss a little bit about the overall market from a macro perspective. Want to get your guys' thoughts on that. We also have the poll up. Make sure you're answering that as well. Some of you, a little bit of an interesting dynamic here. Many of you are looking at the at this. There's so far it's a 50-50 split in the poll. I just put simply, have we officially seen the stock market or the bottom of the stock market? 55 of you say yes, 55%. 45% of you say no. Maybe it feels a little bit better out there in the market. It was a really interesting day today. But before we get in, and we'll talk about that as well as our shit or legit segment. If you guys want me to determine whether or not your stock is shit or legit, make sure you put SOL on your favorite ticker in the chat, and it just might show up at the end of today's show where I will react to those. Also, let me go ahead and hit up the starting five. What's up, Jeff Chow, Savvy Money Show, Mike Hudson, John Gosson, and Chris Sofi? You guys are our starting five. If you did not make the starting five, it's probably because you are not subscribed or hit that notification bell. So make sure you're doing that as well, so you get notified when I go live every day, Monday through Thursday at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time. I go live and react to all the earnings that are being reported. It's so funny because I saw Froggy. I'm not trying to blow up your spot, but he says I didn't know he was doing this on Monday. Nice surprise. I say it every live stream at least like 5 or 6 times. Maybe Froggy's new, and that's okay. That's fair. I probably shouldn't assume. I think maybe he or she is. But yeah, Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday, 3:45 p.m. Eastern time, I am live. And most of the time I'm reacting to earnings. Sometimes when there's not much to talk about as far as earnings are concerned, I'll do other segments such as interviews, money talk, all that sort of thing. So I'm actually really pumped for what's going to be happening at the end of this earnings season. I'm going to start learning a lot more about cryptocurrency. You know, we're in a time now where I feel as if it's the best time to actually consider investing in it, other than just investing in it when it first started, right? When Bitcoin first started 10 years ago, 12 years ago. So I think getting into mining and that whole concept, you know, in between earnings seasons, it's always hard to really kind of discover or create good content that you guys I know will enjoy. So with me being at a $100 million Bitcoin mining facility, I feel like I need to learn a little bit the ropes a little bit more, and I want to bring you guys along on that journey. So make sure you're also subscribed for that. I'm actually looking forward to that towards the end of the earnings season. Oh, I got you, Froggy. Fairly new, but I didn't get a notification. Yes, I'm subbed. I hear you. I appreciate you responding. But speaking of which, let's just chat about that real quick. So Ethereum, I don't know if any of you have kept up with this or not, or have happened to notice, but Ethereum's up 60% over the last month. Let's take a look at this real quick. You know, I think that there's still probably some more downside room for this to go, but this is very interesting. A 60% move from the bottom of Ethereum. This was at $880 back in June on June 18th. Now sitting at 1620. You know, it's down 3.5% today, but still, that is a massive move to the upside over the last 6 weeks. Pretty crazy stuff. Now, Bitcoin hasn't really made the same type of move. Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin as it usually does over the last couple of years. And so this is also very interesting. I'm not ready to say that this is the bottom for crypto just yet, but if it follows tech, and if we believe that tech, at least in the interim, is that we've seen a bottom on that, then maybe there's some reason, a reason to believe that perhaps we've seen a bottom in crypto as well. Again, there's a lot of theories out there as far as where crypto is headed, but I thought it was just worth noting that Ethereum is up 60% since June 18th, and Bitcoin's up considerably too. I didn't do the calculation there, but it looks to be somewhere around 30-ish%. So pretty decent move there. Pretty decent move. All right. That's my spiel on what I'm doing in between earnings this year or this season. Probably going to be around the fall time. I'm going to be talking about that. Crypto better not have hit a bottom, says Don from the Don Fran Show. I actually thought that maybe we could see Bitcoin somewhere around the vicinity of 13,000, 14,000, somewhere around there. I thought maybe that could have been the bottom, or that could be the bottom. And hey, listen, it could still go there. It could still go there.
Hi, Brad.
Hey.
I'm just bringing you a beer.
Oh.
Get started, because when you're done,
hell yeah,
going downtown to the tap.
Ooh, we're going to get some more beer?
Boy.
Hell yeah.
And a beer is a beer. Don't let anybody
listen, if
you
I
just got delivered beer.
That's
hot chick in this frat house. So
that's right.
it.
That's right.
That
That's right. Free beer is good beer. Facts. Oh man. Okay. Mike says that he wants my job. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and check out what we have as far as earnings are concerned real quick. I just want to cover those. Let's check out Pinterest. Pinterest right here trading at $19.89. Can you believe this is like $80 stock, wasn't it? Pinterest was sitting up. Yeah, it was like way up here. $80, $89. This is a $90 stock. $89.90 was the 52-week high. Here's your daily chart. Obviously, a clear breakdown out of this wedge that it was in way back in the summer of last year, and it hasn't really looked back. Hasn't even thought about getting back to those levels. So obviously down a ton. You know, there's been a lot of issues in social media in general. This is interesting. You know, I'm not saying that Pinterest shouldn't have sold off, but to this degree kind of seems like a bit much. We'll see. I mean, I'm of the same mindset with Facebook, right? I mean, Meta Platforms also sold off significantly. The only difference I think between here is that forward PE on this, yeah, is a little bit higher. So it's at 21 times, which honestly, Pinterest at 21 times, and the growth story is still there. It's not expensive at 21 times at all. So I do like it here as far from a valuation standpoint, from a fundamental standpoint, but you know, it doesn't necessarily matter, especially in this environment that we're in as far as rising rates and that sort of thing. If Pinterest misses earnings, they're going to get punished. That's just how it's going to be. Expected earnings per share for Pinterest is $666 million in revenue is, I think there was a typo there, Mike Hudson. Or maybe it just didn't download right. But looking at this, estimated earnings per share is at 4 cents. 4 cents per share, $663 million in revenue is the estimated earnings there. They actually beat last time, believe it or not. They came in and beat earnings last time around. And I thought that they could be on the up and up. That obviously hasn't happened. Don from the Don Fran show. Where he at? There he is. Don from the Don Fran show actually just messaged me before I went live, about 30 seconds before I went live, said that he's actually betting against Pinterest. I'm assuming in the form of puts. So what do we expect from them? I think that this is, we've seen trends already from Snap, from Meta, and so I think that this is something that I would say Pinterest is at 18 cents. Maybe I read that wrong. Yes, it is 18. The EPS gap estimate is at 4 cents, and then EPS normalized estimate is at 18. So yes, you are correct. I guess we both were in a certain sense. So with Pinterest, just because we've already seen earnings from Snap and from Facebook, my thing is, are we going to learn anything different from them? And I think probably not. So in this case, I would venture to say that it could be a situation in which we're already not expecting great earnings, right? So if it's not as bad as what people were expecting it to be in the first place, even if they come in and miss earnings or report something that isn't all that great, the stock could go up. And we've actually seen that this quarter on a lot of other earnings. So, I'm not saying that Pinterest is going to go up after earnings. I would just say this is probably a very tricky one. And to be clear, Don said that he was taking a gamble on this. Oh yeah, he already put it in here. Just taking it as a gamble play, and that's how it probably should be taken. I think that this is one where it could go one way or the other. Could really go one way or the other. So I really like this. Honestly, I think that there's a bull case that you can make for it, just because it's so bad that it could be good. And so, it'll be interesting to see this one. It really will be. I want to see the daily active users. Do we see growth there? And it's at a point now to where, like I said earlier, it's at a really good valuation where it's just super attractive at 21 times next year's earnings. And I'm not sitting here and telling you that anything you probably don't already know, especially when it comes to Facebook that's trading at 13 times next year's earnings. So Facebook is actually cheaper than Pinterest, if you can believe that. But we will see. We will see. We got about a minute before earnings, or before the market closes. And we got other ones that are going to be reporting too. If you guys aren't familiar with Simon Property Group, let me introduce you to this gem. The stock has done extremely well. It's corrected just right along with the rest of the market. Make no mistake. The company itself, though, has done extremely well. Really great dividend on this, and the growth here has actually been pretty substantial since COVID. Believe it or not. If you're not familiar with Simon Property, they specialize in properties with malls in them. So not just malls now, but experiences. So if you've ever been to what maybe used to be a mall and now it is a bunch of buildings where people can go in and out of, and it's like an outdoor type setting, then that Simon Property Group, chances are you've seen them somewhere around. I actually see Simon Property all over Maryland, where I'm from, casinos, that sort of thing. And so I think that this is actually one that probably does really well. You've seen a pretty decent bounce from them. Estimated earnings per share on this one is $1.56, $1.25 billion in revenue there. Devon Energy is another one that I think is worth taking a look at as we get into the close. Market's officially closed, and I'll read off that in just a second. But energy is obviously taking a huge dip, but it's also started to move right back up. Devon Energy is sitting right at the 50-day moving average, closed at that on Friday, also closed just below it today. So that's certainly a spot worth watching. And then finally, Activision Blizzard. Now, I'm not quite sure if Activision is going to do much, only because we already know the story here. That's not Activision. We already know the story with Activision, and it's probably not going to go anywhere more than what it is right now. Why? Because this is what Microsoft is buying them for, $80 a share. So I figured that we could just talk about it, but the stock's probably not going to move much at all. The only way this is moving is if by some chance Microsoft actually doesn't buy them, which I don't think is happening. But so that's Activision. Estimated earnings per share for them is 48 cents. $1.57 billion in revenue there for Activision as well. By the way, any Call of Duty fans in here? I just can't wait until I thought it was 80. I could have been wrong then. I thought it was $80, Zoldra. But you know, the Call of Duty Call of Duty and is just really, the game itself has really gone downhill. It really has. I hope that the Modern Warfare 2 changes the game, because Vanguard, if anybody who's been playing Vanguard, the glitches have just been absolutely atrocious. All right, so Pins is popping off here. It's up 6% after hours. As I had mentioned before, Pinterest has estimated earnings per share of 18 cents. $663 million in revenue was the expected revenue for the quarter. And really, at the end of the day, those numbers, while they do matter, they don't matter nearly as much as daily active users. So as soon as we get that number, I will certainly share that with you. Let's see if we can get those actual numbers on Pinterest right now, as it looks like they are probably in. Stock is now up, giving back some of those gains. It shot up to $21.80 per share after closing the day at $19.89. And this is kind of what I was talking about. Maybe they didn't even come in and beat earnings. We'll see. But don't have those out just yet. As soon as they come out, though, I will be happy to share those with you. But the stock literally just started moving, so it might take a little second for us to get those numbers as they come in. Don says, I guess pallets are cool still. Pinterest is sneaky good. Sneaky good. Now it's giving it back. Looks like it wants to go red now. Pinterest does. Wow, this is an interesting development. Stock was up like 7-8% and now going red after hours. Looks like there might be some digestion, although I don't see that there's earnings are out. I see nothing. Usually when you see movement like that, that means that the earnings are out. I don't think there's actually any earnings out yet. We'll come back to that, but I don't think the numbers are out, guys. I really don't. Now the stock's down 1%. That's crazy. Check in on Simon Property. Any movement there? Not really. Nothing going on that one. Devon Energy. No movement on that either. And then ATVI, of course. Stock actually started to move a little bit too. Let's see if Activision's is out. Activision. Nothing out on that yet either. This is like typical Monday earnings, like there isn't a whole lot going on. But we will, as soon as the Pinterest earnings do come out, I will get the numbers rather. I will give those to you. Still got nothing. And now Pinterest is moving in the other direction. This is crazy. Now the stock's down 7%. Now it's down 9%. Look at this. Holy shit. What a freaking move. Don, your trade has been saved. Don, who bought puts on Pinterest. Well, maybe I'll take that back. What the fuck is happening with Pinterest right now? This is one of the wild ones I've seen in a while. Holy shit. Okay. Pinterest was up 7-8% right at the close, then sank 7-8%, almost 9%, and now it's up 10% after hours. What is going on with Pinterest right now? Guys, As soon as these come out, I will certainly share them with you. Here we go. Revenue came out for Pinterest at 666 million versus the 660 that was expected. Some of them had, I had 663, but nevertheless, they still beat. Earnings per share were at 11 cents versus the 18-cent estimate. So they missed on earnings per share, beat on revenue. But again, this could be moving up because of daily active users. If their active users have gone up, that could be why the stock has gone up as well. I'm wondering if, the initial move was just premature for whatever reason. And then investors saw earnings per share. We saw that sell off to 9-10% down. Then that daily active users came out as well. And that's probably why the stock is continuing to move up. It's now up 13.5%. Excuse me, guys. After hours. Let me see if I can find those daily active users. Okay, so I have monthly active users. It decreased 5% year over year to 433 million. So again, to me, this seems as if this is a situation in which we look at this and say, okay, how bad is it? And if it's not as bad, look, the stock's going right off the chart. It's now up 16% after hours. What an absolutely wild after hours move for Pinterest. If you guys are just tuning in, first of all, I would appreciate if you hit that thumbs up. There's about 240 of you guys in here. If you're liking the stream so far, I certainly would appreciate the support. Pinterest came in and beat on revenue, $666 million versus the 663 or 660 based off of wherever you're getting your estimates from. They beat on revenue, missed on earnings per share by about 6 cents. The stock is up 17% after hours. And it has been a wild one, folks. If you're just tuning in, the stock initially jumped up around 8-9%, then sold off around 8-9% within 5 minutes, within a 5-minute span, and now has shot back up 15-16% as I'm speaking. Unbelievable move here on Pinterest. And it's just been this one of the crazier moves I've seen in after hours trading off of earnings. I've seen a lot of red to greens before, but I've seen a lot of greens to reds and then reds to greens. But that is pretty crazy. Yeah, so those are your numbers on Pinterest. So they came in 11 cents. The expectation was around 18, worse than the analyst estimate. Revenue came in at 666 million versus the 663 or 660, depending on where you got your information from. Monthly active users actually were down 5% year over year to 433 million users. So why is the stock moving up? And that's one thing that I think a lot of people ask questions about. Why is it that when a stock misses earnings, misses expectations, does it go up? Because everybody knew that Pinterest was going to miss or that they weren't going to come in with great earnings, right? We heard from Snap 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago, on their earnings, and we saw how much Pinterest, as well as Twitter and Facebook or Meta platforms were impacted by that. We saw them all get dragged down with Snap's earnings. So the anticipation was that Pinterest was going to come in and shit the bed as bad as Snap did, right? But they didn't. They missed expectations, but it wasn't as bad as what the street actually thought it might have been. There's this thing called whispers. There's always a Wall Street whisper, right? There's always these expectations, and it's all a game. It's all a game. There's these expectations, and then there's the reality, okay? Many times, investors, analysts will be like, all right, yeah, we're going to put it in here. This is the expectation, but what's really going on? We think it's actually going to be lower. And then the stock comes in, something like Pinterest comes in and doesn't actually do as badly as the street thought that they would do. And so then the stock actually ends up going up. So whenever you hear something about that's why the stock may move up on this. The stock now, Pinterest, look at this. Pinterest is still rolling. Now up almost 17% after hours. I mean, just unbelievable. Tony, really, really great observations. It's probably already de-risked from the drop all year and are just bull action. I think that this is actually more along the lines of they priced in something that they thought was going to happen. Investors did, and then it didn't, and it wasn't as bad as what people initially thought. And so that to me is probably one big reason why the stock is moving up after hours. Haven't taken a look at guidance yet, but here it is. Pinterest sees Q3 2022 revenue growing in mid-single digit on year-over-year percentage basis. So that's not really all that fantastic either. So that to me, the movement on this has to be that, in my opinion. I think that that's actually why it's moving up. It's just not, it's so bad, it's good. That, as crazy as that sounds. As crazy as that sounds. Okay, let's check in on a couple other ones. Simon Property Group. That stock is now starting to move up a little bit. Let's see if those earnings are out. So Simon Property looks like the numbers might be out. Let's see here. Estimated earnings per share for Simon Property was $1.44, $1.21 billion in revenue was the expectation there. Actual, I'm not quite sure yet. That those numbers should be out here just a second. Here we go. I got them. I got them. Net income attributable to common stockholders was $496.7 million, or $1.51 per diluted share, as compared to $617.3 or $1.88 per diluted share in 2021. The expectation there, what did I say it was? $1.44. So they came in, it looks like, above expectations for earnings per share. Revenue for Simon, let's see here. 118. That's not right. Let's see here. Don't have the revenue numbers just yet. It's really weird the way that was worded on what I was reading there. And that's actually from their report. So, and the revenue numbers just really weren't there. Okay. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to Simon Property. Check out Devon. Devon Energy is down slightly. It doesn't look like those numbers are out just yet. And then we have Activision, ATVI. And that stock hasn't really, it started to move a little bit. We can take a look at Activision real quick. Activision, here we go. 48 cents, in line with expectations, and revenue came in at 1.64 billion. They beat that revenue number by 70 million bucks. So pretty decent quarter for them. Monthly active users were 361 million. Also pretty decent. I don't know what the expectation was there, but that's actually not a bad quarter. Activision did pretty damn good for that. So the stock is up around 0.75%. It's not going to move much, especially because of the acquisition from Microsoft, and so that's not really much of a shocker. But yeah. Okay. So let's take a look at a couple other ones. Some of you guys were shouting them out as far as earnings were concerned. DAC, I believe, had earnings today. No, nothing there. I don't see any movement there. Let's check back in with Pinterest. I'm sure most of you guys are here for Pinterest. The stock is now up 19%. Holy shit, this stock keeps going up. This is what, if you guys are just tuning in, I see some more of you guys rolling in here. If you guys are just tuning on Pinterest, here's the deal. Here's what happened. The stock prematurely went up around 9% before earnings came out. And then the initial reaction was to the miss on earnings per share. So Pinterest came in and missed by around 6 cents per share. The 7 cents per share. Expectations around 18, came in at 11 cents per share. Okay. Stock initially sells off, down 9-10%, then shoots right the hell up right after that. They came in and actually beat on revenue, 666 million versus the 660 to 663 that was expected. And then monthly active users were also down. And like I said, the only explanation I can give to you right now, and it's early, is that I think it's probably one of those things where it's just so bad it's good. The expectation was going to be much worse for them, especially when we heard from Snap and even Meta platforms. And Pinterest came in and was like, it's not so bad. It's not as bad as we thought it was going to be. And so now the stock is actually moving up. So very interesting to see the price action here on Pinterest. And this all happened within like 10 minutes time. Not even 10 minutes. That's just a crazy move. Here's a quote from them. While global monthly active users declined year over year, our global mobile app monthly active users grew high single digits, accelerating off of Q1. So that could be also why the stock is moving up. There's a nice little tidbit of information. US and Canada mobile app monthly active users declined 2% year over year, an improvement from the year over year rate of decline we experienced in Q1. We saw continued strength with the younger demographic and with global Gen Z users growing low double digits year over year. That is interesting. So maybe that's why the stock's moving up over the mobile monthly active users growth. Could be a combination of things as well. CB says you are right. I also think short squeeze. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know about short squeeze, and I don't know what the short interest was on Pinterest, to be honest with you. So I guess I can't give you much, but yeah, I think that the general thesis is that it's just one of those things where they were expecting numbers that were far worse, and that's what you got. That's what you got. Okay, let's see here. So we got Simon Property also had earnings. And doesn't look like I can't tell if those numbers are out yet or not. The stock doesn't really seem to be reacting much to whatever is out, if there was out. Here we go. Yeah, it's out. Okay. Simon Property net income was at 496.7 million or $1.51 per diluted share. So those were the right numbers that I read to you guys earlier. I wanted to make sure that those were correct. So it looks like they came out and actually did quite well on earnings per share. And I'm not quite sure on the net income, though. It looks like they might have missed on that. Non-cash unrealized loss of 17.8 million. First FFO was 1.093 billion or $2.91 per diluted share. So that's Simon Property. That looks like a mixed 1.28 versus 1.22 billion dollars in revenue. So they beat on revenue, slight miss on earnings. That's your actual numbers for Simon Property Group, and I guess that's why the stock is kind of non-reactionary. There's not much going on as far as that's concerned. The real story here, I mean, we can cover some of the other ones if you want, but the real story is Pinterest. I just can't believe the way the stock has been moving. Now up over 20% after hours. Apparently, thanks for this. Zoldra says apparently only 7% short interest on Pinterest. I'd have to expect at least 10, especially for a move like this, right? I mean, now we're looking at 20.5%. I mean, this is just absolutely mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. I see some more people rolling in here. So if you wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up on your way in the door, I certainly would appreciate it. If you have never been here before, consider subscribing. I go live Monday through Thursday at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time, specifically to cover earnings. So if you guys want to see more earnings reactions and you haven't really found a good, valuable, or reliable place to go to hang out and talk about these earnings, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell because you'll get notified when I go live again at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time. Monday through Thursday. Now, one thing I wanted to say, there's actually some really good earnings that are coming up, and I wanted to cover those real quick on that, on the upcoming earnings. Let me pull those up for you guys real quick. Shiva says Devon Energy beats. Let's take a look, see if there's any kind of reaction to Devon real quick too, while I'm looking up this week's earnings. We got some really big ones on the docket. So tomorrow we got Uber. That's pre-market. We can talk about that if there's anything worth talking about tomorrow afternoon. But really tomorrow afternoon, we'll be reacting to AMD, PayPal, Occidental Petroleum, Sofi, Airbnb, Starbucks. All big names are going to be reporting tomorrow after hours, which I'll be live for. So if you want to react to those with me, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Later on in the week, we also have Robinhood, Lucid, Under Armour, Moderna, CVS, Fortinet, Booking Holdings, Mercado Libre, AMC. Is anybody actually still in AMC? I'm curious. Alibaba, Kellogg's, Crocs, Datadog, Paramount, Eli Lilly, Twilio. I mean, there's some big names. DraftKings. There's some big names all week, guys. You're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you're part of the show. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. We'd love to have you guys here. AMD is tomorrow after hours, Gavin. So make sure you're sticking around for that. Check back in with Pinterest. I can't believe how much this is still climbing. Unbelievable. Stock's now up 20.5%. Ganesh, no, you cannot. What's going on with Activision? Asks Gavin. I don't think there was much last I checked. Yeah, not much going on there. They came in and missed and they had a decent quarter on earnings. They beat on revenue. I think it came in line or slight miss on earnings per share as far as Activision is concerned. All right, guys. Froggy says she's still holding 18 shares on AMC. Okay. All right. Still got some AMC holders in here. Do I think this dumps tomorrow morning? That's a great question. It's now up 21% after hours. What do we think what do we think happens to Pinterest tomorrow after earnings or tomorrow after the bell? Let's take a look at the chart real quick because this is a real big head scratcher for me. I'm only assuming that the reason this is moving up is because of it not being as bad as we thought it was going to be. But, you know, now firmly above the 50-day moving average, sitting at $24. Here's $24 right here. Let me just mark that for you guys. So there's your $24 mark. $24.04 is where it's trading at right now. Where I have this marked at is at $24.36. That could be a potential resistance for it. If it doesn't make it above that, then yeah, I could see us rolling over, some serious profit taking place tomorrow. And I think that maybe this starts to come back down to earth a little bit. However, if it breaks up over this, look, this was a support before in a few areas on the daily chart and then became a resistance after that. If we close above $24 or even open above the $24.36 mark, I think Pinterest could get some more legs. I think it could. I think it could. Don from a Don Front Show, who's got puts on Pinterest, is hoping for $15. I don't know about that happening, but yeah, it's been crazy, Tony B. It's been real crazy for sure. Okay, Alan still has some AMC. All right. So we do still have some AMC holders. Okay. Ooh, I like this. Mike Hudson says Pin's prediction for tomorrow. Put your predictions in there. Where does Pinterest close at tomorrow? Pin's prediction for tomorrow, it closes at 21.10 is what he's got. 21.10. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Crazy stuff, guys. So just to recap here real quick, Pinterest came in and missed on earnings per share by 7 cents. The expectation was at 18, came in at 11. Then they beat on revenue, and the stock is now up 21%, and everybody is scratching their heads. I think, the theory that I had was that this is kind of a situation in which it was so bad that now it's good. They were expecting it to be far worse. It's not. And so people are coming in buying it up. Guidance wasn't even all that great either. I just don't really understand that. Monthly active users were actually down 5% compared to this time last year. They did cite some growth on their mobile app, but I don't think that would be enough to move it up 21%. That's just me. So anyhow, there's Pinterest on an unbelievable move. The stock shot up around 8-9% right out the gate as soon as the close came in, then sank on what I could suspect is the reaction to the earnings miss. And then I guess they just looked at the growth on mobile monthly active users and then the revenue numbers, and then the stock really started to shoot up. I mean, just an unbelievably volatile move that I haven't seen in a while on Pinterest. Something I haven't seen in a while as far as earnings are concerned. Crazy. All right, so guys, we've reached that time of the day. It is shit or legit time. If you guys haven't checked out the MetaFi newsletter, which is the new fam that I'm a part of, I'm down here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it's been awesome so far. If you guys have been following along with me for years, you guys know that I am a Maryland native. I love my state of Maryland, but I had to make the move. I got an opportunity that I just could not pass up down here. So I'm down here. You guys want to find out more, get the newsletter. It's free. I just put the link in the description. Doesn't cost you anything to go in there. Just click the newsletter. You get notified what I'm up to, what MetaFi is up to. We'd love to have you guys become part of the Meta fam. So go check that out. It's at themetafi.co. And again, the link is in the description. All right, so shit or legit time. Put your ticker in the chat with SOL next to it so I know that it's for shit or legit, and I may react to your favorite stock or whatever stock you want me to react to, and I will determine whether or not I think it's shit or legit. First one we have is Uber. They have earnings tomorrow. Let's take a look at the chart. This is a very interesting one because it hasn't been good. Hasn't been great. Really ever. It really just has never been good ever. Could this be the earnings in which it turns around? Let's check out the expected earnings per share for Uber. And those numbers are they're expected to come in at a loss of 5 cents, $7.37 billion in revenue. Now, here's what's going to save Uber, in my opinion, tomorrow. And that's going to be if they have an increase in users and growth. That's what's going to get Uber moving. However, it's still trading for a loss. This company can't make money to save themselves. They just can't. I hate this company, and it's shit. You want to know why? Because they don't know how to make money. I mean, how much time do you need to determine whether or not you can actually make it in this game? Uber, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to them, but I just can't see a future that they last much longer. I can't put my finger on it. They lose money on Uber Eats tremendously. The ride sharing side of their business, they could make money had they not paid their CEO $45 million last year or the year before. I just don't understand why people like this stock so much. It's just terrible. The fundamentals are terrible. Everything's bad about it. It's shit. And they probably go down tomorrow. I know people are probably like, tell me how you really feel, Brad. Listen, here's the other thing about Uber as well. FSD, full self-driving, and it's not just Tesla, right? I mean, Waymo is in the game now. Google, Alphabet, full self-driving. Guess what that does to Uber? It puts them out of business. Lyft, too. Same thing. Lyft is a little bit better as far as their balance sheet's concerned, but not much. If this full self-driving comes about and robo-taxis are a thing, which it looks like they will be, Uber's toast. Done. Forget about it. Okay. Airbnb also has earnings tomorrow. Sean Meachin says, shit or legit on Airbnb. I'll be honest with you. I own this, so it's going to be biased AF. Just putting that out there. Okay. I'm not even going to try to hide it. Expected earnings per share is at 52 cents. $2.1 billion in revenue is what this is expected to come in as well. This is trading at forward PE of 57 times next year's earnings. So that is obviously very high. And to me, I think that this is one that certainly you're paying a premium for, but it's worth it. The growth here is extraordinary. And this is actually a stock that I put on this morning's watch list. If you guys aren't a part of the watch list or aren't part of the Chaos crew, make sure you're hitting the join button next to subscribe. You guys can go check that out and get your watch list from yours truly. Airbnb was on this list. And one of the reasons why it was is because Airbnb is the second largest company in market share in this industry, second only to Booking. And they're fastly, I should say, starting to eat into Booking's market share as well. Airbnb is a solid company. The growth is extraordinary. And I think that this is one that is worth hanging on to. I've been a stockholder of Airbnb now for nearly a year. And it hasn't been pretty, actually over a year. It's been over a year now. And it hasn't been pretty. I'm very much bullish on this. And, the growth is just ridiculous. It just is. So it's legit. Airbnb is legit. And yeah, it's expensive, but the growth is worth paying the premium for. Okay. I think we're back in stonks only go up mode. This is all response to Pinterest. Where's Pinterest at now? Is it still up 20%? Yeah, still up 20%. That's crazy. All right. Shit or legit on Lucid. Lucid, is it shit or legit? Now, this is the thing about Lucid. I actually like the company. I like the cars look awesome. Cars are definitely legit. 1,000 horsepower. The range is legit. Lots of good things to like about them. They're still trading for a loss, still operating for a loss of around $1 per share, which isn't great. Market cap's at 30 billion. That's pretty damn close to, actually, let me just check. Where's Ford's at? Ford's market cap is at, okay, I'm sorry. Let me retract that statement. Ford's at 60 billion. Okay, so about half of what Ford's is. So Lucid sold what, a handful of cars? It's probably still pretty expensive here. And while I think that Lucid is going to do well, I don't think that they're going to be one of the stocks or companies that outshine and outlast. I think Lucid gets acquired by somebody. That's what I think happens. And I think I could see something like a German automaker coming in and buying up Lucid. It's going to have to come down a lot more in order for that to happen. So for those reasons, I think that Lucid is actually shit. The stock is shit. I like the company. I think they're going to be fine, but stock, I'm going to have to be out on that one. Shit or legit on Sofi. Sofi, I think we talked about Sofi a little bit last week. Sofi has gotten has had a really tough time. One of the big reasons is because of the student loan moratorium. Sofi makes a lot of money off of student loans, and that's kind of been really rough on them. But the one thing that investors and analysts continue to ignore about Sofi is the growth here, and that they actually have a portfolio, diversified revenue stream of personal loans, and they're getting into mortgages. They also have the bank charter that they're going to continue to grow. This is a fintech company that's gotten absolutely hammered, right? Along with all the other ones. I mean, PayPal, Square, all of them got absolutely hammered. Sofi, in my opinion, is so undervalued that it's not even funny. This has a market cap of that's less than actually SoFi Stadium. Market cap for SoFi is at $5.82 billion. That's either at or less than what it costs to actually build SoFi Stadium. Now, this is a stock that's still operating for a loss as well. So in a rising rate environment, we all know that it's very sensitive to that sort of thing. And so SoFi is going to have a tough time there. It's going to be sensitive. But I think, to me, the stock is legit. It's going to require a little bit more patience. And maybe by the end of the year, we could look at SoFi as a much different stock, especially if student loan moratoriums and stuff like that, stop hurting them. And which I think that they will eventually. I think eventually somebody is going to look at SoFi, or several investors, institutions are going to look at SoFi and be like, all right, this is way stupid cheap. The growth is insane here too, as well. Ooh, Heinz says, does Apple buy Lucid? I mean, Apple has the money. They have the 30 billion to do it. And says going shit or legit going downtown for a beer. No, going downtown for a beer is legit. Period. All right. I'll do one more. Michael Hanna says I would not touch SoFi. Well, that's your prerogative. I still own SoFi. I've owned it since like $7 ish. What do I need to sell it for at this point? The risk reward is very good. I mean, you always, famous last words is how much lower can it go, right? But I do think that the risk reward down here is quite good. All right, Datadog has earnings this week, right? Didn't I just say that? Datadog has earnings. Maybe I didn't say that. I could have sworn I saw Datadog had earnings this week. Is it data or data? You know what the hilarious part about that is that you're all going to answer it and it's all going to read the same. Unless somebody gets artsy fartsy. All right. Datadog is an interesting one. I think that Datadog in the space that it's in is very competitive. And this makes me nervous. Forward PE is very solid. I mean, it's very low. So it's very attractive as far as that's concerned. Market cap's at 32 billion. You know, it's down 37% on the year. I just don't know if it's ready for prime time yet as far as getting a move on. I mean, you compare it to something like Snowflake, right? Now, Snow has been, you know, obviously very overvalued for a while, and it's come down and actually to a reasonable level as well. But I just don't think that they actually move anytime soon. I think that it might be a slow grind to the upside if they do. But to me, I just don't see how the cloud computing space, especially when the competition is so stiff. I mean, Alphabet, AWS, Microsoft Azure, Datadog, Snowflake, like it's all in the same space. And to me, I just think that this is one that it's legit, okay? But just be careful with Datadog. It's legit. I'm not going to poop on this one, but I just don't know if this is going to be worth chasing after. I think there's probably better opportunities. Data. JJ Hawkins says data. I like the way that you did that. Data. And what the heck is data? Nobody says data. Don says data, just know my way is the right way. All right. Guys, that's going to do it for me. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure that you're hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell to get notified when I do go live. We're going to be reacting to some really big heavy hitters tomorrow. Again, we got AMD, PayPal, Occidental Petroleum, SoFi, Airbnb, and Starbucks, to name a few, that are going to be reporting after hours tomorrow. So lots of really good names to cover. And I'm super pumped to react to them with you. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, that notification bell, and also hit that thumbs up on your way out, guys. Thanks again so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. I love all of you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.